What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are back with another Hot Toys figure unboxing and review, and today we are featuring Darth Sidious, or the Emperor Palpatine, based on his appearance in the Clone Wars. It's been a minute since I've done a Star Wars figure unboxing, but very thrilled to do this one. This is my first ever Palpatine, but of course it won't be the last one, as there is another one coming up for Revenge of the Sith. So very thrilled to get this guy unboxed here with you guys, and obviously it is presenting also the Ian McDiarmid health scope, which we will talk about once we unbox the figure. I did get the figure on Sideshow Collectibles as always, so as always we'll include the link to their website on the description below if you guys want to go ahead and purchase the figure already. I do believe he is ready to be shipped, so if you guys do want to go ahead and order him, I will make sure to include the link on the description of the video. So with that being said, guys, as always, let's go ahead and get started with the unboxing and review. Okay, get into the design of the box. So pretty much we have an image of Palpatine right there in the middle. I really love that image from Palpatine. It is one of my favorite images that Hot Toys has ever used for any Star Wars box design. It looks absolutely amazing. He's got his hood on and also him using his lightning effects, so it looks pretty creepy, so I really like that a lot. We do get the Star Wars metallic logo in the middle, and then again for the banner, something that I'm always looking forward to seeing is what the color's going to be. And I've noticed that for Clone Wars figures, they're using the same blue and yellow background, which makes sense for those of you guys who have watched the series. And then we also do get an image of Palpatine without the hood on this time. On the right side, we do get again the banner continuing. Pretty much it goes around the left, top, and right. We get a black background and then just the name of the figure at the very bottom. Not too much to see here. And same thing for the back. Unfortunately for the back, they never add any type of details. It's just the name of the figure, warning illegal information, and that's pretty much it. Unfortunately, we don't get a lot. And then on the left side, something that they always do with the banners, that they're always going to include a full image of the figure, and they don't fail here. We get an image of Palpatine with his hood on, holding his lightsaber, and the black background with a Disney logo and the name of the figure. Back to the top of the box. The good thing is that with these Star Wars figures, I don't have to snap my fingers to go on to the next phase. I can just remove the top cover, even though it's a little bit tight. But now we get something that we're also accustomed to with Star Wars figures, and that is a wallpaper. The artwork that they've decided to use is great, as it always is for other figures. We get the Star Wars logo, the name of the figure at the bottom, and then we get an image of Palpatine, the figure, not the character, the figure, with his two lightsabers fighting against Maul, which obviously he does at in the Clone Wars. To me, it is a very nice image. I really like it a lot, and again, it's something that's starting to become very regular with Hot Toys. They do this a lot with some of these figures, even though they can't add too many details onto the main box because of Lucasfilm's kind of restrictions. At least the wallpaper, they're able to add some nice artwork and at least kind of, compensate for that. Now, I went ahead and removed the top cover of the box, and we get our first look at Palpatine himself, and man, he looks amazing. This guy looks great. I figured he was going to look great, but I didn't think he was going to look this amazing. That head sculpt is as good as I've ever seen, I think, honestly. I'm not going to get into making decisions, but I can already tell you guys that this is one of the best head sculpts I've seen ever. And this figure, I know for a fact I'm gonna love it. I really like everything about it so far. He looks really good, so off to a fantastic start. Now that we've pretty much taken a look at Palpatine for the first time, it's time, after this we'll take a look at the accessories. We'll take a deeper look at Palpatine and everything that he comes with, and then of course at the end we'll do some poses and final thoughts. Oh, and of course a side-by-side comparison as always. Okay, so we get to the accessories. So as you guys can see, we don't get a lot of things, but the thing that I really like a lot is that we get things that are unique, I would say, to Palpatine. So for the first time, we finally get a change with the display base. We always get those rectangular display bases with a Star Wars flooring. This time it is a circular display base. The nameplate for Darth Sidious, which is the name style as always, but the display base has a very soft surface, and I would describe it as a typical Star Wars flooring as well. I guess you guys can pick and choose from what specific building, I guess I would say. But pretty much it looks really, really nice. I really like this display base a lot. Again, it's just nice to get something different for a change. We do get the same crotch holder as always. I don't have any issues with that. But the display base, again, it's nice to have a change. The flooring looks nice, and it's pretty soft, I would say, the surface. We do get some hand pieces. So the two on the right are for him to hold on to his lightsaber, and those did come included on the figure, if I'm not mistaken. And then the two on the left, it's just for him to have a different pose. More on that a little bit later on. I think that once I put them on the figure, we'll really figure out what kind of pose it's supposed to do. But the hands are in a very weird position. Now, these hands are amazing. The texture on them is fantastic. They are very wrinkled. I can tell it's an old person's hands, especially from the other side. And so to me, I really like them a lot. These two hand pieces right here are for him to do that iconic pose that he always does with holding the finger. Now, an issue that I have is that these hands almost look exactly the same, and they're for the same hand, which is the right hand. I don't understand why they couldn't just do one for each hand, arm, left and right, and at least just give us that option to pose the figure in two different ways. Instead, they do the same pose for the same hand, so I'm a little bit confused about that. Either way, I am happy that we do get these hands specifically, as it does a very cool pose for him. And as I mentioned before, the texture on these hands is absolutely amazing. This to me is by far my favorite accessory of the whole figure, and it is his hands with the lightning effect pretty much already connected to them. So the lightning effect is pretty much already sculpted onto the hand pieces. The skin texture is perfect. As we get close to the tip of the fingers, it gets lighter, and then the lightning effect piece, same thing. It goes from lighter to light blue to dark blue to pretty much purple. To me, these hands are perfect. Again, just look at all the wrinkles on the other side. You can tell that this person is pretty much doing a lot of effort with his hands. So these to me are perfect. I cannot wait to try them on the figure. Yeah, I have no complaints about that. I am very happy with this, and no question my favorite accessory of the whole figure. And then we also get the lightsaber effect pieces. So we get 4 in total. We get 2 motion accessories. We get 2 stand still accessories. I'm only going to show you guys 2 because the other 2 are exactly the same. But obviously, this figure, Darth Sidious, comes with 2 lightsabers, so we're going to get 2 effects for each lightsaber to give us that option. They do look a little bit darker red. I'm hoping that means that the figure lightsaber is going to turn on a little bit more than usual. More on that a little bit later on. And then we get his lightsaber. So again, the 2 are the same for both hands. There's nothing different. He has the 2 same lightsabers. If I'm not mistaken, the lightsabers are accurate to how it is in the series. And obviously, Hot Toys is continuing their trend with using the USB cable to light up the lightsaber effect. As you guys know, we always have a bad experience with these. We really don't get any good lightsaber effect, to turn on. So let's see how we have it. So if this is the first time that you're watching a Star Wars unboxing, let me just let you know that block box does come included with the figure. Unfortunately, the USB cable does not. I have one my own, so unfortunately I have to use it for every single figure unboxing that I have. But it's very unfortunate that Hot Toys till this day hasn't given us an actual lightsaber to turn on for these lightsabers. So now that I went ahead and turned on the lightsaber, so as always, the effect is okay, but not great. I always like to do scales, so I would say from 1 to 10, I would say probably about a 6, but it's not great enough. I mean, just these things have to be super, super bright, and unfortunately, we keep having the same issue where it's not good enough, and to me, it's not worth having that cable shown around the whole figure if it's not gonna, display like really, really cool. So, to me, unfortunately, Hot Toys failed us again with the lightsaber. Okay, everyone, so we get to the figure. Look, obviously, I just raged about the lightsabers, but I have nothing to rage about when it comes to this guy. This is I want to say perfect. I think he's close to perfect. So, obviously, Hot Toys had to kind of go off scratch basically when it comes to the head sculpt, because obviously Ian McDermott's head sculpt is not portrayed in the actual Clone Wars series, but his voice is. I think, just correct me if I'm wrong, But the skin texture on this head sculpt is perfect, man. The baggy skin, the wrinkles, the kind of pale look to his skin. I can tell this is Ian McDermott. I can tell this is an older person, even without looking at the hair. His smirk that he has is perfect. His ears, his nose are big. Again, that's normal for an old person. So to me, they did as good as they possibly could have done with this head sculpt. I think it's a perfect head sculpt, honestly. I don't see anything wrong with it. Here on the back, the hair is very nicely sculpted as well. And the color obviously matches. And then that line in between. So usually Hot Toys does a better job of hiding that line. This time they made it more noticeable. But the reason why there is that line is so that we can take off the back part of his hair and be able to adjust the rotating eyeballs. I mentioned on previous videos before that I personally prefer this. I think it's easier, and that way I'm not having to take off the head sculpt multiple times and, and kind of risking something being broken in any way. To me, this is an easier way to access it. And again, even though the hairline is kind of more visible this time in the back, still, it's not a bad look to it. It's not that noticeable from afar. So as you guys can see right here, I'm trying to move the eyes to a position where he's looking to the top, and sorry, not doing the greatest job of it, but just look at that right there. So it just changes the whole complexion of the figure. We went to from a really nice old man smiling, giving us a very kind face, to now an evil, creepy old person, right? Which is obviously what he is, evil and creepy. Again, he is a Sith Lord. So yeah, just look at that, man. That expression is great. And again, I'm not trying to give myself credit as far as the posing, but it's just that Hot Toys did a really, really good job with this head sculpt, so I have to give them a lot of props on it. As far as the outfit looks really, really nice as well. I always like to mention this on my videos. I'm not the greatest when it comes to talking about materials. I don't want to claim that I'm an expert, but when it comes to the red, brownish coat, so I would say, to give you guys a better perspective of it, it feels like a raincoat. It's not a soft texture in any way. It's kind of rough, like a raincoat. So, or a windy coat, whatever you guys want to call it. So, to me, I like it. The inside is more softer. It's, again, red, brownish. The inside of the coat is softer, and from the outside, it's pretty rough, so I don't mind it at all. It does have wiring all around it, so on the sides of the coat and also on the hood. On the back, it doesn't have any type of wiring, only around it, so to me, it's fine. I feel like we'll still be able to pose the figure in a nice position with the hood itself. And then also, again, as I mentioned before, it has wiring on the side, so no issues with it whatsoever. One thing that I really like a lot is that these arm braces pretty much hold the coat together, so it's not loose around the wrist. That way I can post the hand pieces pretty easily, and it's just, the figure just feels so in place. So I really like that a lot. Again, it's going to, for me, make it easier to add the other hand pieces and just be able to post the figure in that way. And then this cape right here, it's kind of like a navy blue color. I wouldn't say it's black, it's more like navy blue. I do think it's attached separately compared to the red coat itself, but I don't think you guys can remove it in any way, so don't try that. Thankfully, it does have some wiring. And also on the neck area, something that concerns me is that it's so tight compared to the head sculpt that it makes me afraid that it's going to damage it. So that white paper that you guys can see there, I have decided to leave it on. Number one, you guys can't see it, and number two, I just feel like it'll protect the head sculpt if I leave it, because again, the clothing does feel a little bit too tight on the figure. As I mentioned before, with the navy blue cape, it does have a softer fabric feel to it. Again, not claiming I'm an expert when it comes to materials, but I just can tell you that it feels soft compared to the red coat. And it does have wiring all around it as well. So thankfully, we'll be able to pose the figure in different ways, and it'll be a very natural pose because of all the wiring that it does come included with. Underneath the red coat, so it pretty much has a tunic. It's softer. It has a belt right there that goes around the figure. I don't think you guys can remove it either way. And then again, as I mentioned before, the tunic is colored black. Sadly, about this outfit, even though it looks nice, I don't think you guys are going to be able to see it a lot because of the red coat, and I don't think I'll probably have it in a post where you guys won't be able to see that part of the clothing. So, but again, at least I wanted to show you guys what it looks like underneath that red coat. So it's that black colored tunic, as I mentioned. So to me, the outfit is as good as it gets, unfortunately, until we get to the boots. So the boots, and I figured they were gonna do this, they're made out of pleather, sadly. Unfortunately, with the pleather, you guys know that I hate pleather. Unfortunately, it's a material that damages really quickly, and especially when it comes to boots, because since we're moving the ankles a lot and posting the figure in different ways, the material becomes very vulnerable and it can get pretty much destroyed, I would say, within time. And I do have experience with other figures, so that's probably the only negative thing that I have to say. Everything else looks really, really good. I have no complaints about the whole figure, only the boots, I would say. Okay, I wanted to add these bad boys on the figure. Just look at how great the lighting effect hand pieces look on the figure, man. Now, obviously, this is not the pose that I'm going to go with. I just wanted to show you guys how the hands look. But easily my favorite accessory of the whole figure. As I mentioned on the accessories part, the hand pieces, all the detail, the wrinkles on the skin, the color of the tip of the fingers going onto the lighting effects, and the fact that they're sculpted together, so I don't have to worry about removing or putting them on or putting them on the right way. They are already this way, and I think we're gonna get the same pieces with the Revenge of the Sith Palpatine, so that is a great thing. But man, these things look absolutely amazing on the figure. I love them a lot, personally. Okay, so now back to the figure. So without the hand pieces, so I did want to go ahead and go over articulations. Now, this figure specifically, it's going to be very, very hard to be able to tell because the outfit is so big. You guys can't really see the actual body parts, I would say. So the boots, pretty much they're flat on the bottom, so there's no articulation there. And then, as I mentioned before, it's bad enough that they're made out of pleather. Another thing too is that they're not that highly articulated. So as you guys can see from the boots, they move to the side, but not a lot. It's hard to move them. To the top, same thing. You know, they really don't move a lot, so I do have an issue with that. Well, I guess I have an issue, but at the same time, Palpatine is not a person to have a lot of movement in a lot of posing, I would say. So I think we should be fine. Now, the outfit itself, obviously, it goes all over the legs, so you guys can't really see, but the legs do move a little bit either way, and the outfit doesn't get in the way that much, so I think we should be fine. One thing that I'm surprised is that there is no wiggle for the legs. They don't wiggle into the sides in any way, so sadly, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to post the figure to the sides. As you guys were able to see, the leg does go to the back a lot, and then from the waist, it does swiggle a little bit. It goes to the front, it goes to the back well enough to post the figure in different ways. To the sides, moves a little bit, not a lot, I would say. And then with the arms, so again, the outfit doesn't get in the way, thankfully, so the arm does go to the top all the way, I'm sorry, to the side all the way till there. It does swiggle to side. The elbow does go all the way up till there, and then the arms do go to the back and to the back and to the front well enough to post the figure very nicely. So I don't think we should have any issue with the arms as in any way. I think we should be fine there. With the head sculpt, as I mentioned before, it's very tight around with the clothing, so the head sculpt doesn't really move a lot, and I would recommend not to move it a lot. It does go to the bottom all the way till there and to the top till there, but it's a struggle. So I think the head sculpt isn't the greatest when it comes to the articulations. To be honest, the whole figure isn't the greatest when it comes to articulations, but again, Palpatine isn't a figure to have a lot of posing, so I think I'm okay. I don't think it'll be an issue when it comes to the figure personally, but let me know in the comments if you guys do agree with me on that. Okay, everyone, for a quick side-by-side. So on the left, we have Anakin from Attack of the Clones. On the right side, we have Palpatine, obviously. So this part for me was a little bit hard. Obviously, I have a lot of Star Wars figures, but as I always like to say, I don't like to just bring any random Star Wars figure and have them out here. I thought about Vader, but at the same time, Palpatine is not from the after Clone Wars area. He's from during the Clone Wars. Unfortunately, I don't own a Darth Maul, and I really don't own any figures from the Clone Wars. The only one would probably be Obi-Wan with his Mandalorian armor, but I don't see what kind of relationship he would have with this Palpatine. So I just thought it was best to bring out Anakin, since obviously we know the relationship between Anakin and the Emperor. I would say that around this time is when they're barely starting to build a relationship, and when Anakin's starting to trust Palpatine a little bit more. I'm a big fan of both characters, and it's very nice to have both of them in the collection as always. You know, every time I do add a new figure, it's great. I would say that both of these figures are great, but they kind of have that limitation when it comes to the pleather. That's what makes me not say that it's a perfect figure for both of these guys. But either way, very happy to have them on the collection. I think a very interested relationship that they both have, obviously. So yeah, this is all that I can think of when it comes to the side-by-side comparisons. Eventually, I will we'll add more figures from the Clone Wars, so I'll be able to make more valid side-by-side comparisons. But this is all I have for now, unfortunately. Okay, everyone, so we have reached the end of the video. So as always, like to pose the figure in different ways. Something that you guys probably haven't noticed, but that I like to do, is that every time I get a really, really good figure, I always like to do a minimum of 5 poses. A normal figure will probably do 4. So for this guy, Palpatine, I did 5. That's how great he is. I don't like to come on every single video and just say, hey, well, this guy's the best figure I've ever collected, or this guy is the second best figure I've ever collected, or he's the second best one from Star Wars. So I'll hold myself back from making comments like that. But what I will say is that he's for sure one of the best figures I've ever collected from any universe. As I mentioned before, the head sculpt is perfect. The outfit is really, really good. The hand pieces with the electric, the lightning effects are great as well. Perfect. Even though the lightsabers don't turn on, the fact that we do get 2 lightsabers does give us a lot of options to pose the figure. So to me, it's by the way, the circular display base, which was something different. So to me, this is a really, really good figure. I would say great. Not perfect because of the pleather, but it's a great figure. And also the hood was very easy to adjust. And again, as I mentioned before, the head sculpt to me is perfect and by far the best thing about the whole figure. So really in love with this Palpatine figure. Very happy to have finally one Darth Sidious on the collection. So as always, let me know in the comments what you guys think about this figure. As I mentioned at the beginning, I will include the link to Sideshow on the description of the video if you guys do want to go ahead and buy him. I did want to go ahead and mention also, I am on Instagram and TikTok, so make sure to follow me there so that way you guys can see all of my images that I've dropped for this guy specifically. I do want to thank you, as always, guys, for supporting the channel, and want to remind you to like, comment, join, and turn on your notifications bell for more figure unboxings and more Hot Toys content. So thank you once again, guys, for tuning in to this Darth Sidious from the Clone Wars unboxing and review video. Thank you as always for all the support, and I will see you next time.